Welcome to all. Long before cities and lights, people sat together to listen, to learn, and to feel. Now, you can do the same, with a simple story that helps your English grow. Step by step, Nero came from a town where the streets stayed quiet after dark. He grew up in a small house near a slow river. His mother washed clothes for people, and his father fixed old radios. They spoke a soft local language at home, and English stayed far away, like a bird high in the clouds. At school, Nero looked at English words and felt fear in his chest. The letters seemed to dance and laugh at him. The teacher asked him to read, and he said the sounds wrong. Some boys in the back of the class whispered, "He is slow." At night, Nero sat with his school book and tried again. He put a finger under each word and moved it slowly. Still, the sounds did not stay in his head. One quiet evening, his father said, "Son, we cannot give you much, but we can give you this lesson. Learn one small thing every day. Not 10, not 20, only one. A little step every day changes a long road." Nero held that line like a small stone in his hand. One small thing every day. Years passed. School ended. Nero took a train to a big city to find work. The city hit his eyes with light and color. Buses roared. Tall buildings stood like silver trees. People moved fast, and English words filled the air like rain. He felt small in his old shirt and worn shoes. Still, he carried a simple promise in his mind, one small thing every day. After many days of search, he sat in a narrow office with gray walls. A manager with sharp eyes looked at his papers. "Your English is weak," the man said, "but you are on time. You look like you will work hard. We have a mailroom job. You will move letters from place to place. Do you want it?" Nero nodded. "Yes, I will try my best." The manager, whose name was Grant, did not smile. "You start tomorrow. No mistakes. Important mail comes here." Nero walked out with a thin contract in his hand. His pay was small, but it was more than he ever held before. That night, in his small rented room, he watched a bus pass and thought, "I did not win the game of school, but maybe there is a new game here." He put the contract on the table and read the words he knew. Name, date, work. The others stayed strange. He ran a finger under them, the way he did as a child. The next morning, the mailroom smelled of paper, dust, and cheap coffee. Metal carts stood in lines. Boxes lay open like silent mouths. A woman with bright eyes and quick hands came toward him. "I am Lila," she said. "I will show you the ropes." She spoke fast, but her voice felt kind. "You sort letters by Floor and Company. You check the names twice. If you lose a letter, people shout. But if you move fast and do not mix things, life is fine." Nero tried to follow every move. Lift, look, sort, stamp, push. Letter after letter passed his fingers. Names from many lands filled the paper. On his first break, he sat on a wooden bench near the old elevator. A white envelope rested in his hand. He looked at one word in the address. Invoice. He did not know what it meant, but he liked the sound. Invoice. It made him think of a voice inside. He took a small, thin notebook from his pocket, the only thing he bought for himself. On the first page, he wrote invoice in slow letters. Under it, he wrote a guess. Invoice a paper about money. He smiled. One small thing every day. One new word in his book. The next day, he did the same. This time, the word was urgent. It had red letters and a loud feeling. He wrote it down. Urgent, oh, very important now. Each day, another word joined the little list. Policy, schedule, bonus, refund. He worked and wrote, worked and wrote. The job was simple, but his mind started to open like a window. Still, he stayed shy. When people spoke fast English near the mailroom, he kept quiet and only nodded. Lila noticed. One afternoon she said, "Nero, you are so silent. Do you understand when people speak?" He felt his face grow hot. "Some words," he answered. "I learn one new word every day, from letters." Lila laughed. But it was a warm sound. "That is strange, but also smart. Show me." He opened his notebook with slow hands. The pages held his new words in a thin line of ink. Lila read. "Not bad," she said. "You know, one word a day is 365 words in a year. That is more than many people learn. Small steps build big roads. You are doing something very right." Nero felt a light grow in his chest. The lesson from his father lived again in Lila's words. One small thing every day changes a long road. The first obstacle came in his second month. Payday arrived, and Nero got his money in a thin envelope. He also got a note from the office. "Rent increase," it said. The owner of his room wanted more money. Nero did the math on a piece of paper. The new rent took almost all of his pay. His stomach turned. That night he sat on his small bed and looked at the city lights outside his window. "Maybe this work is not enough," he thought. "Maybe I need a better job. But who will take a man with weak English?" He opened his notebook and watched the list of words. Each word was a tiny step. "This book is small," he thought, "but it is my bridge. If I keep going, maybe I can cross to the other side." Still, doubt stayed. Was one word a day really enough? The next morning he moved slower. His arms felt heavy when he pushed the mail cart. Grant called from the doorway. "Nero, you look tired. Do not bring your home problems into my mailroom. We pay you to move, not to dream." The words hit Nero like cold water. He bit his lip and nodded. But inside, a quiet anger started to rise. On the lunch break, he sat alone in a corner and took out his notebook again. Lila walked over with a tray in her hands. "You look like a sad puppy," she said. "What is wrong?" "Rent went up," he said. "I do not know if this work is enough. And my English is still bad. Maybe I am just a mail boy forever." Lila leaned forward. "Listen," she said. "Do you know the word compound?" He shook his head. She smiled. "It means things that grow. When you add a small piece again and again. Money can grow that way. Skills too. Words too. One new word a day seems small, but they do not sit alone. They start to work together. One day they will speak for you. Your small habit is not weak. It is your secret power." That night, Nero wrote a line under his words. "Small steps can change my life. I must trust my habit." It became his key line. When fear came, he read it again. Days turned into weeks. The mailroom became his world. He knew by touch which stack was heavy with reports, and which was light with greeting cards. He felt the smooth slide of new envelopes, and the rough edge of recycled ones. The smell of ink and glue stayed in his clothes. Still, every day, one new word entered the notebook. Some words were long and strange. Confidential, acquisition, negotiation. He wrote them down and added short, simple meanings in his own words. Sometimes he guessed. Sometimes he checked an old pocket dictionary he bought from a street seller. On the third cold morning of winter, a new kind of letter arrived. The paper was thick and white. The logo at the top showed the name of a famous language school in the city. The letter said, "Special discount for company staff. Evening English classes, level Act 2 to bone." Nero held the letter and felt his heart jump. A class made just for his level? After work? But he looked at the price and winced. It was not much. But for him, it was the cost of many meals. He stood near the stairs, letter in hand, and thought, "Do I keep my little safety now, or do I invest in a bigger tomorrow?" His father's voice, like an echo from the river town. seemed to say. One small thing every day changes a long road. But sometimes, a few bigger steps are needed too. That night, he did the math again. If he stopped buying sweets and tea from the street stand, if he walked instead of taking the bus on some days, he could pay for the class. He looked at his thin wallet, and then at his notebook. The notebook now held almost 60 words. They looked back at him like small friends. "You helped me," he whispered. "Now I must help myself more." He took a pen and circled the class time on the letter. "I will go," he said softly. "I will keep my 1 word a day, and I will add this class. My habit will grow muscles." When he told Lila, she clapped her hands. "That is brave," she said. "You are doing what many fear. You are investing in your mind. Remember, your habit of 1 word a day already made you strong. This class will only shine more light on that strength." But not everyone felt pleased. When Grant heard about the class, his mouth twisted. "Do not let this school thing make you late," he said. "We need you alert in the morning. If your marks in class are great, but the letters are slow, I will not keep you." His tone held a clear threat. Nero felt his chest tighten. Could he really balance work and study? On the first night of class, the room smelled of dry marker and old books. 10 students sat at small desks. Some were cooks, some were cleaners. One worked in a shop. The teacher, Mrs. Arden, wrote on the board in big clear letters. "We learn better when we learn a little every day," she said. Not once a week in a rush. A little every day. Nero's eyes opened wide. The same idea again. One small thing every day changes a long road. It seemed the world was repeating this line to him, like a soft drum. When she asked the class to share how they met English, Nero felt shy but raised his hand. "I work in a mailroom," he said slowly. "Every day I take 1 new word from a letter. I write it in a notebook. Now I have many." The room grew still. Then, a young man in a blue shirt said, "That is smart. I never thought of that." A woman near the window nodded. "We can all do that," she said. Mrs. Arden smiled. "This is a powerful idea," she said. "You made English a part of your daily life. Words come to your hands, and you do not waste them. You show us that small habits are strong." Nero felt a warm wave of pride. His quiet, strange method turned into an example for others. Social proof began. His small success did not stay in the dark. Week after week, the class went on. They practiced simple dialogue. They read short texts. They repeated basic grammar. Many nights, Nero felt his head burn with new sounds and rules. On those nights, he wanted to quit. "I am too tired," he thought while walking home. His back hurt from pushing mail carts. His eyes stung. 1 day off will not hurt. But when he reached his room, he always took out the notebook first. It was his tiny ritual, his anchor. He opened it, found a blank line, and wrote 1 word from that day's letters. Deadline, approval, complaint. He said the word out loud 3 times, tasted it in his mouth, and wrote a short meaning. Then he whispered to himself, "Small steps still change my life. I will not break this chain." On one rainy day, the 3rd obstacle arrived, and it was sharp. He came to work to find the mailroom in chaos. Boxes lay open. The sorting table stood empty. Grant's voice cut through the air. "Who took the red envelope for Silver Bank?" he shouted. It had checks inside. "It is gone." People looked at each other. Fear moved through the room like cold air. Grant's eyes found Nero. "You were on that table yesterday," he said. "Did you see it?" Nero tried to remember. In his mind, he saw stacks of white and brown envelopes. He saw many logos, but red. He shook his head. "I do not remember, sir." Grant stepped closer. "If that envelope is lost, our office looks bad." The bank may pull their deal. Do you know what that means? It means we lose money. If we lose money, we cut people. Maybe the mail boy who goes to school at night is not so needed. The word stabbed. In that moment, Nero's habit felt small. What good were his words if he could not even prove his worth? While others searched the carts and boxes, he went to the back corner to think. Calm, he told himself. Panic will not help. What do I know? He closed his eyes and pictured his work path from the day before. Now, lift, read, sort, push. Then he saw something in his mind, a flash of red near the stack labeled internal, not external clients. He rushed to the low shelf near the door, where old internal mail sat, often forgotten. He moved the dusty trays until he saw it. A single red envelope with the Silver Bank logo peeped out, half hidden under old memos. His hands shook as he pulled it free and walked back. Is this it? He asked. Grant grabbed it and read the address. His face cleared, but his eyes stayed cold. You got lucky, he said. Try not to make us need luck again. Lila rolled her eyes when his back turned. He could just say, thank you, she whispered. For Nero, the moment went deeper. He looked at the printed word, internal, on the shelf sign, a word he learned from a letter 2 weeks before. Because he knew it, he could think clearly about where that letter might be. His small daily learning had helped him bring back something big. My small steps saved me today, he thought. This habit is not weak at all. Later, when he told the story in class, the other students listened with wide eyes. So your words helped you at work. The young man in the blue shirt said, that is like free power. I will start a notebook too. Mrs. Arden nodded. This is how learning should work, she said. Not only in the classroom, but in real life. One new word a day used in real moments can change your work, your respect, and your pay. Never laugh at small habits. Still, more trials waited ahead. A new rival came into the mailroom. His name was Vark, and even his name sounded hard. He had sharp hair, a loud laugh, and fast English. I worked in a hotel before, Vark told everyone. English is easy for me. I talked to managers, not just moved boxes. He moved the carts with quick hands and spoke often with Grant. They stood together, talking about sports and business. When Nero came near, they sometimes switched to fast English that cut like wind. One afternoon, Nero heard Vark say, this mailboy is nice, but slow. If we ever need a team led in here, I am the clear pick. I can write emails, explain delays, talk on the phone. He only knows letters, not language. The words entered Nero's ears like tiny knives. For the first time, he did not feel only shy. He felt angry, not the quick, hot anger that explodes, a deep, slow anger that asks, is this true? Am I really less? That night he opened his notebook again. The pages were almost full now, over 150 words. Looked back at him. He traced them with his finger. I am not just a mail boy, he thought. I am a learner. I am the kind of person who grows every day. My English is not fast, but it is deeper than before. These words are my quiet army. They will speak for me soon. In class, he shared Vark's comment. Some students frowned. People like that are in every job, said the woman near the window. You cannot stop their mouth, but you can grow your value. Small steps, remember. Mrs. Arden gave him a new kind of task. Start to use your words in short sentences, she said. She said, not only write meanings. Write one small sentence for each word. That way, the word becomes yours. It was another small step, but a strong one. The next day, when he wrote complaint, he added, the client sent a complaint about late delivery. When he wrote bonus, he added, workers get a bonus when they do good work. Each sentence felt like a small brick in a wall. The wall said, I can use this. I can think in this. Months passed. Winter left, and warm air came back to the city. Trees near the office grew new leaves. Inside, the mood changed too. The company got a big new client from another country. Their name was Bright Link Media. They sent many letters and packages, always in English, often marked urgent. One day the main office called a meeting. Everyone from several floors came. The big hall felt full of noise. A woman from higher management stood in front of a screen. "We have good news," she said. "Bright Link Media likes our work. They want one of our staff to work part-time with them as a liaison. That person will handle mail, basic emails, and simple calls, English level, bone or higher. It is a small step, but there is a clear growth path." Murmurs rose. People looked at each other. "We will choose from inside the company," the woman said. "If you want to try, you must pass a simple language test next week." At that word, Vark straightened his back. He looked at Nero with a smile that did not reach his eyes. "This is my chance," his face seemed to say. Inside, a storm began in Nero. Part of him wanted to step back. "That job is not for you," fear whispered. "You are just a mail boy with a small notebook." Another voice, softer but firm, spoke too. "You have learned one word a day for almost a year. You go to class at night. You used your words in real problems. Why not try?" The climax came quietly that night, in his small room, with the notebook open like a friend. He looked out at the city lights and felt his heart beat fast. "I am tired of being the silent one," he thought. "If I run from this, I stay the same. If I try, I may fail, but I may also change. What kind of man do I want to be?" He took a deep breath, laid a hand on the notebook, and made a private promise. "I will take the test," he whispered. "I will not wait for a big miracle. I will trust my small steps. One small thing every day has brought me here. Now I will take one bigger step. If I fail, I will still be a learner. But if I pass, my road opens." The next week he studied harder than ever. Each evening after class he read his notebook aloud, page by page. He made simple flashcards from old envelopes, with the word on one side and the meaning on the other. On the third night, he almost fell asleep at the table, but he woke himself by saying his key line out loud. "Small steps can change my life. I must trust my habit." On test day, his hands shook as he sat in front of a computer in a small room. A man from Human Resources explained, "You will have reading, a short writing task, and a small speaking part." Vark sat 2 chairs away and gave him a thin smile. "Good luck," Vark said, in a tone that meant the opposite. When the test began, the screen filled with a short email. It was about delayed mail and a client complaint. Nero's eyes met words he knew well from his notebook. Delay, urgent. The text no longer looked like a wall. It looked like a street with signs he could read. He answered the question slowly but clearly. In the writing part, he had to answer a client who asked about a missing package. His fingers moved over the keys. "We are sorry for the delay," he wrote. "We are checking with our team. We will give you an update soon." They were simple lines, built from his daily words. He did not try to sound clever. He tried to sound clear. Then came the speaking part. A woman on the screen asked basic questions. "Tell me about your work," she said first. For a moment his old fear rose. Then he thought of his habit. He thought of all the days he had not skipped his one word, all the nights he had whispered his key phrase. He sat up straight. "I work in the mailroom," he said. "Every day I handle letters and packages. I check names and floors. I also learn English from the letters. I write one new word each day in a notebook. This helps me speak and read better. Small steps help me a lot. The woman raised her eyebrows, impressed. That is a very interesting method, she said. You sound motivated. After the test, he walked back to the mailroom with weak knees. How was it? Lila asked. I do not know, he said. I did my best. The words did not run away. They stayed with me. Vark shrugged. It was easy, he said loudly. I am sure they want someone like me. I can joke with clients. The results came 3 days later. Everyone who took the test got an email. Nero did not have a computer, so he had to open it on an old screen in the break room. His finger trembled as he clicked. The message read, Dear Nero, we are happy to inform you that your result is at level bone. We would like to invite you to a short interview for the liaison position. His breath stopped. He read the line again and again. He wanted to shout, but the mailroom stayed quiet. Instead, he pressed his notebook to his chest. In the interview room, a woman from Bright Link Media asked him, Why should we pick you? His answer came from the deep place where his habit lived. Because I do not stop, he said. I am not the fastest, but I am steady. I already made English part of my daily life. I learn from every letter I touch. 1 word a day changed me. With this job, I can learn even more and help your company every day. A week later, the news arrived. He sat at his small sorting table when Lila ran in with bright eyes. Check your mail, she said. Grant watched from the door with a strange expression. Nero opened the letter with shaking hands. We are pleased to offer you the part-time liaison position, it said. Your pay will increase. You will help with client mail and basic communication. Lila hugged him so hard that the letter crumpled a little. You did it, she cried. Your tiny notebook got you a big step. Grant walked over, face flat. Well, he said, they picked you, I guess all those quiet days. With your little book were not a waste. Do not forget where you came from. Nero met his eyes, but without anger. I will not forget, he said. The mailroom taught me to respect every small thing. Vark looked away, jaw tight. For once, his quick English gave him no power. In the months that followed, Nero's life changed in clear ways. His new role let him sit in a small glass office 2 afternoons a week. He read client emails, drafted short replies, and handled delicate letters. He still pushed carts in the mornings, but now people in suits greeted him by name. Good afternoon, Nero, they said. Thank you for your clear email. His pay rose enough that the rent increase no longer cut him like a knife. He bought his parents a small radio with clear sound and sent it home. When he called, his father said, We are proud of you, son. You took one small step every day, just like we talked about. Now look at your road. His mother added, When you were a boy, you feared English. Now it feeds you. But the deepest change sat inside him. He no longer saw himself as a boy who is bad at English. He saw himself as a person who learns every day. In his mind, his identity shifted. I am a learner, he thought often. I am the kind of man who grows with small steps. I can take new roles. I can face bigger tasks. He did not stop his habit. Even with the new job, even with more emails to write, he kept his quiet ritual. Every day, he chose one new word from a letter and wrote it in a fresh notebook. Now he added another line under the meaning. He wrote, How I used it. For a proposal, he wrote, I sent a proposal to the client. For feedback, he wrote, the client gave kind feedback on our report. His notebooks became like a set of stairs, each word a step higher. From time to time, Mrs. Arden asked him to visit her new classes and share his story. He stood in front of shy faces and told them about the mailroom, the lost envelope, the night classes, the rival, the test. He always came back to the same simple idea. One small thing every day changes a long road, he said. One new word a day can change your work and your mind. Do not laugh at small habits. Make one, keep it, and let time do its quiet magic. In the company, other workers began to carry small notebooks too. The cook in the cafeteria wrote down new food words she saw in orders. The guard at the front door wrote down polite phrases in English. Even one of the managers started a list of words for calm, clear emails. Nero watched this with quiet joy. His private method had become a shared tool. What began as a weak point, his fear of English, turned into a gift for many. Years later, when he walked past the old mailroom, he sometimes saw a new young worker with tired eyes and a slow walk. He would stop, smile, and say, "Do you want to see a simple trick?" Then he would take out his now thick, worn notebook and show the pages full of words, meanings, and small sentences. "This is what built my road," he would say. "Not talent, not a big brain, just one word a day, every day. When life feels heavy, remember, small steps, taken again and again, can move mountains inside you." In the end, Nero did not become famous. No one wrote big news about the quiet man in the mailroom who climbed to a better job, but his life felt full and steady. He could read signs and books that once scared him. He could help his family more. He could speak to people from other countries without shame. And, maybe most important, he trusted himself. He knew that, whatever came next, he could face it with the same quiet method. One clear lesson grew in his heart and stayed there. Great changes often come from small, boring actions done many times. A single word each day, taken from a simple letter, had turned fear into skill and skill into a new life. Once he sat by his window at night, looking at the city lights like stars on the ground. He opened his newest notebook, touched the last word he had written, and smiled. "I used to think I was just a mail boy," he whispered. "Now I know I am a builder. I build my mind, one small word at a time." Then he turned to you, the silent listener in his mind, and added, "If you like this story, stay close. There will be more simple stories that help your English grow and touch your heart. And remember, you can start your own notebook today with just one small word."